black SUVs sit abandoned on the edge of the Texas desert. Their doors are flung open, engines still warm. No bodies, no blood. Just empty tactical vests with the unmistakable skull insignia of the Cartel. On the dashboard of the lead vehicle, a note, written in sharp block letters, reads, "You were warned." Just 24 hours earlier, those same vehicles rolled into Eagle Pass, packed with the most feared enforcers LT had to offer. These were men who'd left a wake of bodies in border towns from El Paso to Brownsville. Now, gone. No trace. Just a rumor left behind, of a sheriff who moves like a ghost, strikes like a viper, and knows things no small-town lawman should know. The cartel came in thinking they were the hunters, but they picked the wrong town. This is the story of what happens when the world's most dangerous cartel targets a man who once commanded SEAL Team 6. What follows is what happens when predators become prey. And when one man's past ignites a war that turns a quiet border town into the stage for the most shocking cartel showdown in history. Before we dive deeper, tell us where you're watching from. And if this story gets under your skin, hit subscribe, because tomorrow, the next chapter drops. As the sun rises over Eagle Pass, it casts long shadows across silent streets. Sheriff Ethan Nash stands at his office window, coffee in hand, watching his town begin another day. His badge catches the morning light. 15 years of service wrapped in a silver star. To most, he looks like any other small-town cop, but that illusion doesn't last long. Deputy Finn Carter bursts in, nearly spilling his coffee. "Sheriff, you need to see this." Nash turns slowly, reading the tension in Carter's face. "The SUVs?" "Yeah, but this time they're watching school routes. Black Escalades, tinted windows, just sitting there." Nash sets down his coffee and tightens his gun belt with fluid, practiced ease. Movements too precise for a county sheriff. Carter doesn't question it. Not anymore. "Call it in. State police say they're monitoring." "But sir, one of them had diplomatic plates." Nash's jaw tightens. He grabs his weathered leather jacket, the one with stories stitched into every crease. "Show me." They take Nash's old Bronco, more rust than horsepower, rolling through town while Carter flips through his notes. Something else. Maya at the diner said some men came by yesterday, Spanish-speaking, asking about property values. Did they buy anything? Just coffee. Left $100 tip. Nash glances at the sidewalks. Parents pulling kids inside, store owners watching from doorways. The town feels nervous, even if no one knows why yet. Then they see it. The Escalade, engine running, windows black as obsidian, parked across from a school, exactly where Carter said it would be. "Stay here," Nash orders. But sometimes following protocol gets you killed. Nash walks up to the SUV with calm confidence, like a man who's been through worse and walked out clean. When he's 10 feet away, the passenger window slides down with a smooth mechanical hum. Inside, a man in a flawless suit, smiling from the back seat. "Good morning, Sheriff. Lovely town you've got here. License and registration." "Of course. But first, maybe we discuss some new business opportunities coming to Eagle Pass." Nash rests his hand near his hip, casual but ready. "Business licenses go through City Hall, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. The man doesn't blink. "We prefer private negotiations. And private negotiations don't come with diplomatic plates or surveillance setups near schools." The smile slips. Barely. "You're very observant for a local sheriff. And you're very interested in my town. For a tourist." They lock eyes. 3 long seconds of silence. Then Nash's phone buzzes. Ghost protocol active. Stand by. The man in the SUV reaches slowly into his jacket. Nash doesn't flinch. Out comes a business card. Thick stock. No name. Just a phone number, embossed in gold. "When you're ready to be reasonable." Nash takes the card. "You're in a school zone. Move along." The window slides up. The SUV pulls away like clockwork. Nash watches it vanish down the street before walking back to Carter. "Sir, what was that about?" Nash hands him the card. Run the number. Quietly. Use your personal phone, not department lines. Are we expecting trouble? Nash stares at the empty street. Trouble's already here, son. Has been. We're just now seeing its face. At Maya's diner, the morning rush is thinner than usual. Nash slides into his usual booth, the one with a view of both doors. Maya pours his coffee without asking. They came back, she says quietly. This morning, early. Asked about you. What did you tell them? That you take your coffee black and tip like a gentleman. Nash almost smiles. Your dad still keep that shotgun under the counter? Got a friend for it last week, double barrel. Smart man. Maya leans in. Sheriff, people are scared. These guys, they're not the usual drunks and small-time runners. No, Nash says, checking his phone again. They're not. Later that day in his office, Nash opens a locked drawer. Beneath a false bottom, a satellite phone he hasn't touched in 5 years. He dials a number from memory. A rough voice answers. Ghost Anvil. It's Stryker. Remember that favor you owe me? Baghdad or Kandahar? Both. A low whistle on the line. That bad? Worse. How fast can you and the others get here? There's a pause on the line. That depends. You want this official or off the books? Sheriff Ethan Nash watches from his window as another black SUV creeps down Main Street. I'm about to go to war with the Kaloa Cartel. They just don't know it yet. Another pause. Then the voice replies, 24 hours. We'll come in quiet, like always. Nash ends the call and places the satellite phone back in the drawer. He looks at the unfinished paperwork on his desk. Routine files for a town that's anything but routine now. Outside, the Texas sun rises higher, burning away the morning haze. The shadows shrink. The air tightens. The war is coming. And for the first time in 5 years, Ethan Nash allows himself a smile. Not as a sheriff, but as the operator he used to be. Before dawn, the first brick shatters the window at Maya's cafe. The alarm howls across the empty street while 2 dark figures vanish into the night. When Nash arrives, Maya's already sweeping up the glass, her father's old shotgun resting on the counter like an old friend. Did you get a look at them? Nash asks, inspecting the brick. No note, just intent, just warning. They knew where the cameras were, Maya says. Her hands are steady, but there's steel in her voice. They'll be back, Nash replies. Not today, but soon. What they don't know, she says, setting down the broom, is I grew up in Juarez. This ain't my first cartel rodeo. Across town at the clinic, Grace Nash finishes wrapping a local rancher's broken arm. Her husband lingers in the doorway. No words, just eye contact that says more than a conversation ever could. Another accident? Nash asks. Third one this week, Grace answers, checking her clipboard. Mr. Peterson fell off his tractor. Nash catches the rancher's expression. It's not pain, it's fear. He's seen it before, too many times. Seems like there's a lot of that going around, Nash says. Must be something in the water, Grace answers, with a tone that carries the weight of things unsaid. As Nash heads out, he rests a hand on her shoulder. No words needed, just the shared knowledge of what's coming. At the courthouse, Judge Theodore Russell offers Nash a drink in his oak-paneled office that smells of cigar smoke and quiet ambition. These incidents are troubling, the judge says, swirling his bourbon. Might be time to look at private security options. Didn't realize municipal security fell under your jurisdiction, Nash replies. Times are changing, Sheriff. Eagle Pass needs to change too. Change isn't always progress. Russell sets his glass down carefully. Tell that to the business owners losing their windows, their inventory, their peace of mind. Nash stares him down. Funny thing about peace of mind. You can't buy it from the same people taking it away. Back at the station, Deputy Carter catches Nash in the hallway. That number you had me trace? He says, holding up his phone. It leads to a shell company out of Mexico City. But check this. 5 new property purchases around town, all at key choke points. Nash scrolls through the photos. Good work. Keep this between us. Sir, what exactly are we dealing with? Nash looks him square in the eye. War. They just don't realize who they're fighting. At Wyatt Bishop's ranch, Nash finds the retired Marine walking fence lines with a rifle over his shoulder. Caught two of them scouting the North Ridge, Bishop reports. Didn't move like ranchers. Moved like soldiers. Cartel's hiring ex-special forces, Nash says. Private contractors. Figured as much? Bishop nods. Any of them your old buddies? Nash raises an eyebrow. Come on, Nash. I did my time in Fallujah. I know operator movement when I see it. Just like I recognize it in you. That life's behind me. Is it? Because someone's been leaving very professional calling cards around this county. Nash scans the ridge, watching the wind move the mesquite. Maybe the cartel's not the only one with friends. Bishop grins. Now that's the kind of change I can support. Later that night, Nash's satellite phone buzzes. A single message. Package arriving midnight. Usual protocols. At Maya's, the dinner crowd is thin. Nash nurses a coffee and keeps an eye on Elena Cruz, the cartel's intelligence officer. 2 tables away, pretending to read a newspaper. She's been here 3 hours. Orders a refill every 30 minutes. Maya brings his usual. She's been watching, Maya whispers. Let her, Nash says. Sometimes the best way to hide is in plain sight. His phone buzzes again. Grace, 3 more ER cases. All accidents. These people need help. Then another. Ghost team in position. Awaiting orders. Nash stands, leaves cash on the table. Outside, another black SUV creeps past. Slow, calculated. 3 men inside, watching Maya's cafe. Same crew that threw the brick. Nash doesn't need confirmation. He knows the pattern. Back at the station, Nash pulls files. Property records, traffic camera stills, business licenses. He lays them out, connecting dots that were never meant to be connected. The picture is clear now. This isn't just cartel activity. It's infrastructure. They're not infiltrating. They're building. This isn't a move. It's an invasion. Carter bursts in with more photos. Sir, the old mill. There's something going on. Equipment, containers, armed men. Nash flips through the pictures. Heavy machinery, guard patrols, shipping units. Good work. Now forget you saw this. And Carter, the less you know, the safer you'll stay. That night, Nash drives to Bishop's ranch. 5 shadows emerge from the dark, moving like ghosts. No words, just presence. His old team. Welcome to Eagle Pass, Nash says. Reed Spector Hawkins, his former second-in-command, smirks. Nice town. Shame if something happened to it. That's why you're here, Nash replies. Just like old times, Anvil asks. No, Nash says. Better. This time we're fighting for home. They move into the barn. Inside, maps and photos cover a makeshift war table. Nash points to targets. They're embedding, using legit businesses as cover. But they made one mistake. Yeah? Pierce Storm Winters asks. What's that? They thought they were dealing with a sheriff. Nash smiles. Cold, focused, predatory. Time to show them they're dealing with a SEAL team. As the team plots through the night, more black SUVs roam the streets of Eagle Pass. But this time, they're the ones being watched, marked by hands they'll never see. The hunters don't know they've become the hunted. Inside her cafe, Maya locks up for the night, her father's shotgun within arm's reach. Outside, just beyond the glow of the streetlights, Elena Cruz makes a call. The sheriff knows more than we expected. We need to move faster. But high above the quiet streets, perched on the roof of the old church, Zan Wraith Griffin is already watching. Scope steady, recording faces, movements, patterns, documenting every step of the enemy's infiltration. The battle for Eagle Pass is about to shift gears, and Sheriff Ethan Nash, the man who once traded a SEAL trident for a silver badge, is preparing to remind the cartel that some towns are worth dying for. And some warriors never truly leave the battlefield. They just find a new one to defend. We spent a lot of time building this story for you. If you're enjoying it, hit that subscribe button. It really helps. Now let's get back to the fight. A fireball lights up the Texas night as Bishop's grain silo erupts in flames. Nash's truck screeches to a stop on the gravel road, tires spitting rocks as the blaze rages. The old Marine is already there, fighting it with nothing more than a garden hose, a hopeless battle against a professional hit. "They went for the fuel tank first!" Bishop yells, smoke stinging his eyes. Nash scans the ridgeline. "North Ridge? 3 of them." Gear looked military. "Carter's 2 minutes out with the fire crew." "Won't matter," Bishop says, his face hard in the orange glow. They knew exactly where to hit. That grain was meant for half the county. Nash's phone vibrates. A message from Spectre. "Targets tracked, moving east on County Road 23. "Stay here," Nash tells Bishop. "Make it look official." Nash's truck disappears into the night, headlights off, no GPS, just instinct and muscle memory from 15 years of back roads and bad calls. Over comms, Wraith's voice cuts through the static. 3 vehicles, tight formation, lead car's got thermal. "Let them think they're clear," Nash says. Anvil chimes in. "Trackers are hot. They're heading for the safe house." Back at the burning silo, Deputy Carter interviews witnesses under pulsing emergency lights. His flashlight catches a strange tire pattern. Then his phone buzzes. An anonymous message. "Judge's parking garage, midnight." Across town, the lights cut out at Grace Nash's clinic. Emergency backup kicks in, casting cold shadows across white walls. She moves patients quickly, calmly, eyes trained from years of trauma care. Then she sees them. 2 silhouettes approaching the rear entrance. Her fingers find the panic button Nash installed last week. 3 miles away, Nash's phone flashes. "Clinic compromised. Moving now." Wraith responds instantly. "Target shifted. I'm on it." Grace unlocks a cabinet and pulls out a compact pistol. She's a healer, trained in precision. But there are some things she and her husband both know how to do. The door creaks. "Dr. Nash," a man calls out. "We've got a patient, needs urgent care." "The clinic's closed," she says, weapon hidden but ready. "Emergency services are in Eagle Heights." "This can't wait." 2 men step inside, dressed like paramedics, but their boots scream military, not medical. "Interesting," Grace notes. "Most medics don't wear combat soles." The lead man's smile vanishes. His hand twitches toward his jacket, but then a red laser dot lands on his chest. Wraith's voice echoes from outside. "I wouldn't, unless you want to explain those bullet holes to a real paramedic." They retreat. Professionals. Smart enough to walk away when the odds flip. Grace's phone lights up. "Love you. Stay safe." She smiles just a little. Across town, in the dimly lit corner of Maya's cafe, Agent Samantha Cross slides into the booth across from Nash. "Interesting town you've got here, Sheriff. Full of peaceful folks, living peaceful lives." She slides a folder across the table. Crime scene photos. Charred buildings. Shattered windows. "These tactical burn patterns. They remind me of Kandahar." Nash takes a sip of coffee. "Never been." Cross smiles, unfazed. She pulls out a heavily redacted file. "Funny, I've got a ghost story about a SEAL team commander. Some say he traded his camo for a badge and disappeared into small-town America. Ghost stories are for campfires, Agent Cross. Maybe, but some of them drink black coffee while their town burns." Maya brings a refill, setting it down gently. As she pours, she slips Nash a folded note. "Storage facility. Tonight. Big shipment." Nash's phone buzzes again. "Bishop, they hit Henderson's farm. Feed stores wiped. Now the cartel's plan is clear. Control the supply chain. Control the town." At the courthouse garage, Deputy Carter moves carefully through the shadows. No lights, no sirens. He wasn't meant to be here. But in the corner, lit only by the dashboard glow, he sees it. Judge Russell accepting a thick envelope from Xavier Luna. He raises his phone, snaps the photo. His hands shake slightly. "Ah, you've got guts, kid," a voice says behind him. Carter spins. It's Anvil, stepping from the shadows. "Sheriff said you were solid," Anvil says, handing him a secure phone. "Said you're one of the good ones." "What is this?" "It's a war, Carter. And those men you just caught on camera, they're about to have a very bad night." At the storage facility, Nash's team moves through the dark like vapor. Silent, invisible, precise. Through thermal scopes, they watch a fleet of trucks arrive. Elena Cruz oversees the operation. Her stance, her movement, all military. "I count 12, Spectre whispers. "All armed, no drugs. These are weapons, military grade." Nash's jaw tightens. "They're not just taking the town. They're building an army." "Just like old times?" Storm asks. "No," Nash replies. "Better. This time, we know the land, and it's ours." They move into position. Charges are planted. Cameras go dark. Evidence gets logged. Nash's phone buzzes once more. Grace. 3 gunshot victims in the ER. Cartel tags. Another message follows. Emergency town council session tomorrow. Judge Russell pushing private security contracts. And just like that, the lines are drawn. But the cartel has no idea what kind of storm they've walked into, because they thought Eagle Pass was undefended. They didn't know it had ghosts. "They're accelerating," Spectre notes, eyes on his scope. "Because they're starting to feel it," Nash replies, his tone flat, controlled. "The noose is tightening." Inside Maya's cafe, Elena Cruz calmly sips her coffee, watching the street. Her phone buzzes. A coded message. Sheriff confirmed. SEAL Team 6 command. Her hand freezes mid-sip. Outside, hidden in the deepening dusk, Nash's team moves like shadows with purpose. The peace the cartel once assumed was theirs is gone, and they haven't even realized they're playing someone else's game now. Tomorrow, the battle for Eagle Pass goes public. But tonight, as Bishop's silo burns, Grace treats the wounded, and Deputy Carter learns what it really means to wear a badge. The real players begin to show their hand, and Sheriff Ethan Nash, the man who once tracked terrorists through desert valleys and mountain caves, is ready to remind the cartel why some towns are worth burning for, and why the most lethal predators are the ones you never see coming. In the stifling heat of Town Hall, ancient air conditioning rattles as Judge Russell calls the emergency session to order. Nash stands silently at the back, arms crossed, eyes locked on Xavier Luna, who's charming the council with slick words and thin promises. "Given recent events," Luna says smoothly, "Eagle Pass needs professional protection. Fast, efficient, experienced." Elena Cruz records everything on her phone from her seat. She's not hiding anymore. From across the chamber, Grace catches Nash's eye. A subtle nod. 3 more farms hit last night. No injuries. But the message was clear. Cooperate, or burn. Nash speaks up. "Perhaps, mister, Luna can explain why his security firm employs known cartel enforcers." Luna doesn't flinch. "Serious accusation, Sheriff. Do you have proof?" Like the footage currently being uploaded from Monsieur Cruz's phone, the same phone recording this meeting. Right now, streaming directly to El Tigre's network. Cruz freezes mid-motion. The council erupts into murmurs. In Nash's earpiece, Spectre breaks in. Convoy spotted. Heavy trucks. Armed. "They're pushing while we're distracted," Nash subvocalizes. "Engage. Make it loud." Outside town, Anvil and Storm stare down their rifle scopes. "These trucks are packing enough firepower to take down a small nation," Storm mutters. Anvil cracks a grin. "Yeah, but this time, we're the ambush." A sudden explosion rips through the lead truck. Precise, surgical. Enough to stop the convoy cold. Not enough to kill. As gunmen spill from the vehicles, Nash's team closes in. Fast, silent, lethal. Back at the council meeting, Luna's phone buzzes. One look, and the color drains from his face. "Something wrong?" Nash asks. Before Luna can answer, the chamber's large screen flickers to life. A scarred face fills the display. Cold, familiar to anyone who's seen a cartel dossier. El Tigre himself. "No more games," the cartel leader growls. "Sheriff Nash, you're standing in the way of progress." "Funny," Nash replies. "Where I come from, we call that justice." "And where is that, Sheriff? Some classified base with your ghost unit?" Nash steps forward. "Why don't you come find out? In person." The screen cuts to black. Luna and Cruz rush out, but Nash doesn't stop them. Not yet. The council sits in stunned silence. At the clinic, Grace treats a teenager with a suspicious bullet wound. Two cartel soldiers watch from the waiting room. Her phone buzzes. Nash. Company's coming. Stay calm. FBI agent Cross enters quietly from the rear. Her badge flashes. This clinic is now a federal crime scene. Everyone out. The two men stand. You don't want to do that, one says, hand drifting toward his jacket. Grace's hand finds a scalpel. Cross raises her weapon. I'm not local law. I don't need probable cause to shoot you. The men back down. Pros know when they're outgunned. You're not really here for the kid, Grace says quietly. No, Cross admits. I'm here because your husband's been busy. Then you already know the answer, Cross nods, impressed. SEAL Team 6 playing sheriff in a border town. I like it. At Maya's cafe, Carter sits by the window, snapping license plate shots with a telephoto lens, a skill Nash's team taught him last week. Maya drops a coffee beside him without saying a word. Those black SUVs have been circling for an hour, she whispers. I noticed. Gunfire erupts. The front window explodes in a hail of bullets. Carter grabs Maya, drags her down as shards fly. His secure phone buzzes. Wraith, 2 shooters. Northwest rooftop. I'm on it, Carter says, drawing his weapon. His hands don't shake anymore. Moments later, the shooting stops. 2 bodies drop from the roof. Silent, efficient takedowns. Nash arrives a few minutes later. You good? Carter nods. Maya's got a security system you wouldn't believe. I know, Nash replies. We installed it last week. At the ambush site, the firefight is over. Storm and Wraith secure the weapons. Anvil dials a DEA contact. Merry Christmas, Storm says, inspecting crates of advanced firepower. They'll come back, Spectre warns. Let 'em, Nash answers. The town's awake now. His phone lights up. Messages flooding in. Grace, Cross is on our side. Bishop, more farms hit. People are choosing sides. Judge Russell, we need to talk. Privately. Back at the sheriff's station, Nash watches footage of the latest attack when Elena Cruz appears in his doorway. Impressive, she says. El Tigre sends his regards and his offer. Leave now. Live peacefully elsewhere. Nash doesn't even blink. Counter-offer. Leave my town. Or find out why SEAL Team 6 had the highest kill count in Special Ops history. You'd risk everything? She asks. Your wife? Your town? I'm not risking it, Nash says. I'm protecting it. There's a difference. She leaves without another word. Nash's phone buzzes one final time. Unknown number, Phase 2 initiated, Ultra en route. Outside, Eagle Pass settles into a tense, uneasy stillness. But across rooftops, inside safe houses, and along the roads only ghosts know. Nash's team is ready. The cartel wanted a war. They're about to get one. Because as a fresh line of black Suburbans rolls into town, they don't realize they've just stepped into the wrong fight. Unmarked, but unmistakable. El Tigre doesn't bother hiding anymore. He wants the town to see him coming. From his office window, Sheriff Nash watches the convoy of black SUVs roll to a stop right outside Maya's cafe. Bold, precise, on schedule. In his earpiece, Spectre speaks calmly. Target confirmed. Holding position. Nash responds without blinking. Let's see who else steps out to play. The cartel leader exits the vehicle, surrounded by tight security. But it's the final man out that turns Nash's blood to ice. Marcus Shadow Reed, former SEAL Team 6, once Nash's rival, now head of security for El Tigre. Well, that complicates things, Anvil mutters over comms. Nash's phone vibrates. Message from Reed. Coffee at Maya's, for old time's sake. Inside the cafe, Maya serves coffee without flinching. El Tigre holds court at the center table. Reed scans the room. Nothing escapes his eyes. Then Nash enters. Alone. The room stills. Been a while, Shadow, Nash says. Life's full of surprises, Striker, Reed replies, his smile sharp as a blade, like seeing you play sheriff in cartel country. El Tigre leans forward. Your reputation precedes you, Commander. Such a waste. Your talent buried in this dusty, forgotten town. Nash doesn't flinch. My talent's just fine where it is. El Tigre gestures to the room. Look around. Struggling town. Poor people. We bring prosperity. No, you bring chains. Reed interrupts. Philosophy aside, there's room for compromise. Your skills, our reach. Maya places a fresh cup of coffee on the table. As she turns, her sleeve lifts, just enough to expose a hidden wire. Reed catches it instantly. His hand twitches. Nash's cup explodes across Reed's face. Maya dives behind the counter as the cafe erupts. Outside, Wraith reports, "Contact front, multiple shooters." El Tigre's security team moves with polished efficiency. But they're not ready for what's coming. Nash's people were already in place. The street turns into a firefight. At the clinic, Grace hears the gunfire echoing. Her phone lights up. Cross. FBI tactical en route. Hold position. 2 cartel soldiers burst in, dragging a wounded man. Treatment, now. Grace sees their weapons and remembers her oath. Triage room 3, she says. As she works, Cross slips in through the back entrance. Their eyes meet. A silent exchange. Across town, Deputy Carter is leading evacuations like a pro. The training with Nash's team kicks in. He moves families with calm, urgent confidence. Stay low, stay together, this way. He spots the glint of a sniper scope just as the first shot misses. From the bell tower, Storm's voice crackles through Carter's comms. Target down. Good eye, kid. Nash trained you well. At the courthouse, Judge Russell stands at the window watching chaos unfold. His phone buzzes. Secure line. It's time, a voice commands. Make the call. Russell hesitates. The whole thing, it's bigger than I realized. Call it in. Conscience won't save you. But before he can move, Maya appears in the doorway. She holds up a USB drive. Looking for this? She says, phone recording. Your real financials, offshore accounts, cartel contracts. You don't understand. Oh, I do. 30 years of corruption, human trafficking, drug money. I understand perfectly. In the street, Nash and Reed face off. Same training, same instincts, deadly equals. Still favor your left, Reed taunts. Still talk too much, Nash shoots back. They move like mirrored predators, striking, countering, resetting. But Nash has one advantage. This is his town. Behind Reed, a hidden doorway swings open. Bishop steps out, shotgun raised. Welcome to Eagle Pass. El Tigre retreats toward his convoy, only to find every escape route blocked by burning vehicles. Spectre's handiwork. Impressive, El Tigre admits, but futile. This is only the beginning. On cue, 3 helicopters appear on the horizon. Black-clad cartel special forces descend by ropes. You move, Commander, Reed warns. Now or never. Nash's phone buzzes. Cross. Satellite confirms multiple units converging. This was just a distraction. Figured, Nash says. He switches channels. All units. Fall back to secondary positions. Initiate Protocol Ghost. In seconds, the streets go still. Nash's people disappear, slipping through alleys, under buildings, into safe houses. Even Maya's cafe is silent now. El Tigre surveys the ruins. They run. No, Reed replies. They hunt. Later, as the smoke clears and the wounded are stabilized, Nash meets his team back at Bishop's ranch. Reed changes the game, Spectre says. He knows our moves. No, Nash replies. He knows our old moves. It's time to write a new book. Grace arrives with medical supplies and intel. Cross intercepted cartel comms. They're calling it Operation Endgame. They're bringing in something big. Let 'em, Nash says, tracing routes on a map. They want to play chess. He circles a key point with his finger. We'll change the game. As night falls, El Tigre's forces fortify their hold on Eagle Pass. Reed deploys his men with methodical precision. Every corner, every alley, every roof. But in the shadows, Nash's team moves like ghosts, silent, invisible, preparing surprises. Tomorrow will bring more battles. And Sheriff Ethan Nash, once the quiet man with a badge, once the deadliest commander in special operations, allows himself a cold smile. Because now, the real war begins. Before dawn, Nash stands on the station rooftop. Spectre marks patrol routes on a tablet beside him. They've got the town locked. Military-grade surveillance. This was never about drugs, Nash replies. El Tigre's building something bigger. His earpiece crackles. Grace, you need to see this, now. At the clinic, Grace pulls up a secure laptop. Cross stands behind her, face grim. These came in from DC, she says, courtesy of a few old friends in satellite intel. Nash leans over her shoulder. Grid overlays flash on screen. 6 other border towns, all with identical patterns, all already fallen. Supply lines, intel grids, controlled exits, no local law enforcement. Then Grace speaks what they're all thinking. They're building a corridor. Nash straightens. And Eagle Pass is the last piece. At the clinic, Grace uncovers El Tigre's real identity, Antonio Vera Cruz. His father once owned half of Eagle Pass before the government seized everything. It's not just about power, Spectre says. It's about revenge, Cross adds. At Maya's cafe, now the command center, Carter briefs deputies. The kitchen hums with encrypted comms, a war zone disguised as a coffee shop. They're watching everything, Carter says, but we know these streets better. Suddenly, Bishop's sensors pick up movement. A convoy approaches from the border. Nash's voice hits their earpieces. Showtime. Reed, observing from his command post, watches Nash's Bronco roll out. Right on schedule, he reports. El Tigre smirks. Still predictable. But Reed feels something's off, maybe too predictable. As Nash drives slowly through town, Cartel drones track his every move. Behind him, SUVs close in. 3 vehicles, 12 armed, Nash whispers. They're hurting him, Grace observes. Nash turns into a warehouse alley, a dead end. Getting sloppy, Stryker, Reed taunts. Then the trap springs. Hidden walls open, Nash's team ambushes the convoy, but the cartel counters with armored vehicles and rooftop teams. Hold your positions, Nash orders. Let them commit. Carter monitors everything from the cafe. Second wave incoming, 30+ heavy weapons. At the edge of town, Judge Russell makes a call, but Cross intercepts. Got you, she whispers. The Bronco lures the cartel into chaos as Bishop unleashes military-grade jammers, dropping cartel drones from the sky. Blind them, Nash says. Inside the clinic, Grace treats wounded, cartel and civilian alike. One enforcer grabs her arm. You're Nash's woman? I'm my own woman, she snaps, knife pressed to his artery. Maya discovers something. The cartel isn't just after Eagle Pass. It's about building a corridor of control across the border. Nash confirms, Eagle Pass is the missing piece,